Next, we have a good understanding, I hope, the notion of clocks. Next, let's switch to timers. Timer, unlike the clocks, is the peripheral. Okay, it's not a clock, it's a peripheral. So using the timers, we can track time, the basic functionality of the timers. We can also generate signals using the timers. For example, PWM is a classical example. Then we can also capture signals. What does it mean? It means that if we have input PWM signal, okay, if we have MCU and we have a PWM signal input, not output, someone is generating, and using the timers we can find the frequency, the duty cycle, different characteristics of the timer. So we can also use the capture signals. Another important purpose of the timer is to execute code periodically at a constant rate. So we can run, for example, we have our code, and if we want to run at every 1 millisecond or every second, we can use timers for that purpose as well. As we progress in our learning STM32 microcontrollers, I will introduce all these functionalities steadily, but in the upcoming lessons, we will of course focus on the basic functionality of the timers, which is tracking the time. And so let me show how does it work. Videos are bad for looking things up. The full course comes with the searchable documentation. stepschool.com, link below. So first of all, we have a timer, and it has a counter. Okay, what does it do? It just counts. It starts from 0, basically 0, 1, 2, 3, and so on and so forth. But what is the rate of counting? Like how fast it counts? It depends on the frequency of the timer. Frequency of timer. And we can control the frequency of the timer using Prescaler. So as I said you before, we have a clock. We have a clock that controls the timer. Okay, but there's an important parameter that we call prescaler that dictates the frequency of the timer. So what it does, it divides the frequency. Okay, so if we have 1 megahertz clock as an input to the timer, and if we have prescaler equal to 9 as an output, like the input to the timer frequency, it will be 1000 kilohertz. How you found this number? Can you guess? It's very easy. First you have input, so in our case 10 to the 6 because it's a megahertz. You divide by prescaler, in our case 9 plus 1, so you get 10 to the power of 5, which is 1 kilohertz, 100,000 kilohertz. Another example, if you have 10 megahertz, okay, and if prescaler is, let's say, 999, what is the timer frequency? Can you guess? Timer frequency would be 10 to the power of 6, because we have megahertz. You divide by 999 plus 1, So you get 10 kilohertz. Okay. So this is how we can compute the timer frequency. Okay. So we have the frequency of the timer, which is basically clock frequency, the input clock frequency, divided by the prescaler plus 1. And this frequency dictates how frequently the counter is incremented. So it starts from 0, the counter. Then it goes to 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. So if we have 1 kilohertz timer running at 1 kilohertz, every second the counter is incremented to 1000. So after 1 second, if you check, like at the beginning it's 0, 1 second passes, it becomes 1000. 1 second passes, it becomes 2000, and so on and so forth. So the timer frequency dictates how fast the counter is incremented. If we have 1 megahertz timer, what happens? You have the counter 0. After 1 second, it becomes 1 million. Okay, 10 to the power of 6. Then it becomes 2 million. So on and so forth. Okay. But here's the important thing to mention. The counter cannot reach the infinity. Like it cannot go to the billions, trillions. Like there has to be some physical limitation. And the first limitation depends on the number of bits on the counter. So if we have 16-bit counter, the maximum it can reach is 2 to the power of 16 minus 1, which is, I suppose, around 64,000. Okay, I don't remember exact number, but it's around 64,000. But if we have 32-bit counter, the limitation would be 2 to the power of 32 minus 1, which is, I think, if I'm not wrong, around 4 million. Okay, so what does it happen when the counter reaches those numbers? It starts from 0. So you have the counter basically, like if we have time, if we have a counter, okay, as a y-axis, it starts from 0. It reaches that physical limitation, okay, depending on the number of bits it has. Then it starts from 0, and so on and so forth. And how fast it reaches the maximum, it depends on the frequency of the timer. Another important thing is that we can set our own limit. Okay? And that limit, we call it auto reload register, or sometimes we call it counter period. So the counter increments by 1 every time ticks. So every time it ticks, it adds 1, 2, 3, 4. It goes go on. It goes up and up, and when it reaches auto reload value, it starts from 0. So here's an example. If we set auto reload to 5, it starts from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and it starts from 0 again. This is how the auto reload value is used in the timers. So we covered all the fundamental topics in timers. Next, we switch to the Cubemix to configure the timer. So let's see how it works.